But Senator, I need to ask you about some news that we just got from the DOJ. The Justice Department is going to conduct election monitoring in Minnesota's elections today. This is going to be at polling sites in 2 different Minnesota counties for the state's primary election. They say this is to ensure transparency, ballot security, and compliance with federal law. What do you make of this? And I ask you about it in the context of some of what we were just talking about with Sam, too, with just the reality of election denialism here, not just in the candidates who are presenting on the right, but, of course, from the very, very top and the intentions we know this president may have. Do you think that some of what happens today could be a hint of a sign of other things to come?
Yeah, and let's see what it looks like on the ground. It would be one thing if they carefully deployed some monitors to watch things. We've done that for years in our elections. It's another thing if they have people in uniform standing around that are trying to intimidate people from coming to the polls or intimidate people from voting. You know, Trump's got his main guy running in Minnesota. The pillow guy is going to be the Republican nominee for president. Talk about a candidate that has problems. That would be the pillow guy in Minnesota. So, but I do want to underline what Susan referenced in that I do think people are overestimating policy differences and underestimating insider-outsider dynamics. Yep. And I get that Democrats are mad and angry and frustrated, but I hope everybody remembers that the Democrats that have struggled against Donald Trump, it's math. It's not that they didn't want to stop Donald Trump. It's not that they didn't try to stop Donald Trump. They didn't have enough people elected. And that's why so many Democrats are focused on electability right now, because we know the reason Trump was not more effectively stopped by a lot of the things he's done was because we didn't have the numbers in Congress. So everybody needs to keep their eye on the prize here. It's about getting majorities.
Sam, I want to play for you something that Trump said last night. This was in an interview with the right-wing outlet Real America Voice. Take a look at this.
You have the right to declare a national security emergency for elections. And the Supreme Court ruled in 1983 under Reagan that INS versus Chadha, that if you declare a national security emergency as the president of the United States, they can't challenge it. It can only be overturned by a 2/3 vote of both houses of Congress. So if you do this in the next month, we will get photo ID, proof of citizenship, and a limit to mail-in ballots. And
let me say that stranger things have happened. Okay, I'll leave it at that.
So for anyone who couldn't hear very clearly, at the end there, the president is saying stranger things have happened, and I'm going to leave it at that. Sam, what's going on there?
Have stranger things happened? I'm not totally sure. That would be very strange for the president to do that type of action. I'm not saying he's ruling it in or out, because Trump traditionally does things like that, where he leaves open the door for the possibility but never rules anything out. But look, I mean, obviously he has an appetite for this type of thing. He's been pushing the SAVE Act for months, much to his frustration because it's going nowhere in the Senate. Obviously, he's deploying, as you mentioned, DOJ officials to specific election sites, and he has a well-known history of pushing disinformation about voter security and election integrity. Does this compel him to do something extraordinary like what was outlined by Wayne Allen Root? I don't know. But I know, talking to Democrats, they're not taking the possibility lightly, that they're prepared for this type of thing, much more so than they were in 2020 or even 2024. I fear, honestly, that there is going to be efforts, I don't know if it's going to be like that, to throw this election into chaos and to throw the post-election counting into chaos and to end up in a place where you have artificially contested election results that then compel the DOJ or the House Speaker to say, we can't seat these people because this is still in litigation. And then what happens? You're in a real constitutional crisis at that point. That's a real concern. Don't know if it's going to happen, but as Trump says, you can't rule it out.